All right, so today we're really diving deep into Palantir, but not just the kind of stuff you see on the surface, the stock price and all that.
Yeah, we're going beyond the ticker symbol.
Exactly. We want to understand what makes Palantir different, what gets investors really fired up about them.
It's about conviction, right? That deep belief that makes some investors go all in.
And we found this YouTube video by Garcia Capital that perfectly captures this. He starts by laying out his portfolio.
Okay, so what's he got?
Pretty standard stuff at first glance, 25% each in Palantir, Tesla, SoFi, and Enphase. But then he drops this bomb. He admits he didn't truly believe in Palantir at first. It was just a stock, not a conviction.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that got me thinking, because how often do we do that? Invest in something without really understanding the why.
Yeah, all the time. We might like a company's product or their CEO, but that's not the same as really believing in their long-term vision,
Yeah, exactly. And that's when things get interesting with this investor story, because he decides to change that. He dives headfirst into Palantir's history, their company culture, all of it. And then he uncovers this crazy story. Palantir sued the U.S. Army.
Whoa, hold on. Sued the U.S. Army. That's ballsy.
Right. Talk about confidence. They were basically saying, our software is better than yours, and we're willing to go to court to prove it.
What did they say their reasoning was? I mean, what were they arguing specifically?
So from what I gathered from the video, Palantir was basically arguing that their software was more effective, more user-friendly, it's better suited for the job than what the Army was trying to develop in-house.
Interesting. The Army's not exactly known for being cutting edge with technology, but still challenging them head-on like that.
And the kicker, they won.
No way. They actually won against the government.
Yeah. Can you imagine going up against the U.S. government, this massive bureaucratic machine, and coming out on top?
That's a serious David and Goliath story. It really speaks volumes about Palantir's, their audacity, their willingness to challenge the status quo, especially in an industry as traditional as defense.
Right, because we all know government contracts, especially in defense, it's all about who's been around the longest, not necessarily who has the best tech.
Exactly. So for Palantir to break through like that, to not just compete, but to win against an entrenched player, it makes you wonder, what do they have that others don't? Like, what's their secret sauce?
And get this, Palantir's success with the U.S. Army, that was just the beginning.
Oh, really? So there's more to this story.
So much more. Remember how we were talking about conviction and how this investor was looking for that deeper meaning?
Right. He wanted to believe in the companies he was invested in, not just, hope they made money.
Exactly. So he keeps digging, and he realizes Palantir's reach goes way beyond defense. Like, they're everywhere.
Like where? Give me an example.
Okay, how is this? The NHS, the UK's National Health Service, Palantir is working with them.
Wow, healthcare, that's a huge leap from,
From suing the Army.
Yeah, exactly. But it makes you think, right, we're talking about sensitive patient data, public healthcare systems. There's got to be a ton of skepticism about an American company coming in.
Totally. And this investor even mentions that. Like, people were freaking out about data privacy, about an American company getting their hands on all this information.
So how did Palantir pull that off? I mean, to overcome that kind of resistance, you really need more than just good tech.
It's about trust, isn't it? Building relationships, understanding the specific needs and concerns of each sector. It's not one size fits all.
Absolutely. And it probably took a lot of work on Palantir's part to demonstrate that they could handle that kind of responsibility, that they could be trusted with something as critical as healthcare data.
Totally. But the story doesn't end there, because then this investor starts listing off all these commercial clients. And it's like a who's who of, well, just about every industry.
Like what? Who are we talking about?
Okay, get ready for this: BP, Tyson Chicken, Hertz. And the list goes on. It's like they're intentionally going after the most random assortment of companies.
It's like they're trying to prove a point. Like, look, our software can do anything.
That's exactly what I thought. And this investor even calls it a collage, this weird kind of beautiful mix of industries that you'd never think could be connected.
So what's the common thread? What does an oil giant like BP have in common with, Tyson Chicken?
Data, my friend. They all have tons of data, complex operations, and they all need help making sense of it all.
Ah, okay. So Palantir is like the data whisperer.
Exactly. They come in, wrangle all that data chaos, and turn it into something useful, something companies can actually use to make decisions.
It's like this investor was piecing together a puzzle, right? Looking for a company that wasn't just profitable, but that aligned with his own values.
Yeah, it's almost like he was looking for a company he could be proud of, you know?
Right, and it sounds like he found that in Palantir. Their work with Western governments, their focus on data security, it all speaks to a certain set of values.
And that's a key takeaway from this whole deep dive, right? It's not just about the numbers. It's about believing in what a company stands for.
Exactly. It's about finding those companies that resonate with us on a deeper level, the ones we believe in, even if the rest of the world doesn't quite get it yet.
Because sometimes those are the companies that end up changing the world.
Absolutely. And it sounds like this investor saw that potential in Palantir, the potential to not just be successful, but to make a real difference.
So where does that leave us? I mean, we've gone on this incredible journey with this investor, but how do we apply his experience to our own lives?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think this deep dive highlights the importance of looking beyond the surface when we're evaluating companies, opportunities, even just new
It's
ideas.
about asking those tough questions. Why does this matter to me? What do I truly believe in?
Exactly. And am I willing to invest my time, my energy, my money into something I truly believe in?
Because that's where the real magic happens, isn't it? When we find that thing that lights us up, that we're willing to go all in on.
Absolutely. And it's not always easy to find that, but it's worth searching for, worth taking the time to do your own deep dive.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Palantir, remember, it's not just about the company. It's about what their story teaches us about ourselves.
About the power of conviction, the importance of aligning ourselves with our values, and the courage to invest in what we believe in.
Because at the end of the day, those are the investments that matter most.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought. What will your next deep dive be?